Landy Párraga, a dazzling contestant of Miss Ecuador 2022, was only 23 years old when her life was tragically cut short. With her vibrant personality and stunning beauty, she captivated the hearts of many, amassing a massive social media following. But Landy was more than just a pretty face. She was a passionate advocate for social issues, particularly women's rights and education. Her dreams of modeling and influencing change were abruptly shattered on the night of March 2, 2024, leaving a nation in mourning and questioning the safety of its young women. The evening started off with a sense of excitement. Laughter echoed through the air as Landy and her friends gathered at a vibrant restaurant in Quevedo. The tables were adorned with colorful decorations, and the smell of delicious food filled the atmosphere. Little did they know that the night would take a sinister turn, transforming joy into chaos. As the clock struck 10 p.m., a sense of unease began to creep in, foreshadowing the horrific events that would unfold. Suddenly, the atmosphere shattered as two armed men burst through the restaurant doors, their faces masked with intent. Panic ensued as the patrons realized the gravity of the situation. Shots rang out, echoing like thunderclaps, as Landy, caught in the crossfire, was struck multiple times. Her friends screamed in horror, helplessly watching as she fell to the ground, a vibrant life extinguished in an instant. The chaos that followed was a nightmare. People scrambled for safety and cries for help filled the air. As the first responders rushed to the scene, the restaurant transformed into a chaotic crime scene. Landy was swiftly transported to the hospital, but despite the valiant efforts of the medical team, she was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. News of her death spread like wildfire, igniting outrage and disbelief throughout the community. Social media exploded with tributes as friends, fans, and strangers alike mourned the loss of a bright light extinguished far too soon. In the wake of Landy's tragic demise, law enforcement launched an extensive investigation, determined to seek justice for the young woman who had touched so many lives. Detectives combed through the crime scene, meticulously collecting evidence while reviewing surveillance footage. The chilling images of the attack were etched into their minds as they began piecing together the moments leading up to the shooting. Every detail mattered, and as they delved deeper, the prospect of gang involvement emerged, igniting further urgency in the search for answers. The news of Landy's murder reverberated throughout Ecuador, igniting a firestorm of protests and demands for justice. Citizens took to the streets, holding placards with poignant messages about the need for safety and respect for women. Activists rallied, echoing the calls for a thorough investigation and stricter laws against violence. The energy in the air was electric, a collective cry for change that could not be ignored, as Landy's name became a symbol of the fight against gender-based violence. With public pressure mounting, investigators began identifying potential suspects. Eyewitness accounts described the gunman, and forensic evidence from the scene was crucial in establishing connections. Each lead brought them closer to the truth, and as they pursued various angles, the involvement of organized crime became increasingly apparent. Investigators remained relentless, determined to unveil the identities of those responsible for this heinous act. In the aftermath of Landy's death, the community united, forming support networks to aid her grieving family and other victims of violence. Candlelight vigils filled the streets, illuminating the night with the glow of hope and remembrance. Social media campaigns flourished, advocating for change and sharing vital information about safety measures. The solidarity displayed by the community was heartwarming, showcasing the power of collective action in the face of tragedy. Days turned into weeks, and finally, a breakthrough emerged. Investigators identified two suspects linked to a local gang notorious for violent crime. Armed with surveillance footage and witness testimonies, they initiated a series of arrests. The tension in the air was palpable as the community held its breath, awaiting justice for Landy. Each arrest brought a glimmer of hope, fueling the determination to see this case through to its conclusion. On March 25, 2024, police apprehended the two suspects in a dramatic raid. The operation unfolded with precision, echoing the sense of urgency that surrounded the case. As the suspects were led away in handcuffs, the community erupted in cheers, a powerful reminder that justice was within reach. The families of Landy and her supporters felt a mix of relief and anger, eager to see the justice process unfold and ensure that those responsible would face the consequences of their actions. The trial commenced on April 15, 2024, attracting significant media attention. As the courtroom filled with spectators, the air buzzed with anticipation. The prosecution laid out a compelling case, presenting evidence that highlighted the calculated nature of the crime. Testimonies from eyewitnesses painted a vivid picture of that fateful night, while forensic experts meticulously detailed the findings from the scene. The defense, however, attempted to divert blame, but the overwhelming evidence left little doubt in the minds of the jurors. As the trial progressed, emotional testimonies came to the forefront. Friends and family members shared heartfelt memories of Landy, recounting her dreams and aspirations, painting a picture of a vibrant young woman whose life was cut short. Their words resonated deeply, evoking tears and anger in the courtroom. The impact of her loss was palpable, a stark reminder of the void left behind, amplifying the urgency for justice in the hearts of all present. After weeks of intense testimonies and deliberation, the jury reached a verdict on May 5, 2024. The courtroom was filled with tension as the foreman stood to deliver the decision. The judge's gavel struck with finality as the words "guilty" echoed through the room. Landy's family wept tears of relief and sorrow, knowing justice had been served, but mourning the irreplaceable loss of their beloved daughter. The verdict marked a pivotal moment in the fight against violence in Ecuador, sending a strong message that such acts would not be tolerated. During the investigation, a new lead emerged, revealing a connection between Landy Párraga and the notorious drug lord Leandro Norero. What initially seemed like a casual association soon uncovered a deeper, more complex bond, with Norero showering Párraga with lavish gifts, including a luxurious apartment and an expensive car. This relationship hinted at a tangled web of personal emotions and dangerous entanglements, pulling Párraga into the perilous underworld of organized crime and making her life intersect with high-stakes criminal alliances. Rumors of Párraga's alleged affair with Norero might have made her a prime target for his widow's revenge. Believing Párraga was involved in her husband's betrayal, the widow may have orchestrated the assassination to settle personal scores. Authorities are investigating whether this was a calculated hit meant to resolve bitter grudges within the criminal underworld. As police dig deeper into remaining leads, Párraga's connections and role become increasingly entangled. Investigators are now trying to determine if her death was the result of a personal vendetta or if it was the price for what she knew about Norero's criminal dealings. Whatever the reason, her tragic end has exposed a hidden network of complicated relationships within the criminal underworld. In the aftermath of Landy's case, conversations about gender-based violence gain momentum. Activists seized the moment to advocate for legislative changes, calling for tougher penalties for offenders and better support systems for victims. Landy's story resonated across borders, inspiring a movement that sought to bring about meaningful change in Ecuador and beyond. The echoes of her tragedy were a call to action, igniting a fervor for justice that could no longer be ignored. The tragic case of Landy Párraga serves as a solemn reminder of the violence that continues to plague society. While justice was served, her legacy inspires ongoing discussions about safety, empowerment, and the fight against gender-based violence. Landy's name will forever be etched in the hearts of those who knew her and in the broader movement for change. The battle against violence continues, fueled by her memory and the determination to create a safer world for all. Thank you for watching the video about the Landy Párraga case, Miss Ecuador 2022 on the Shadow Mysteries YouTube channel. We truly appreciate your support and interest in the intriguing stories we explore. We hope that the information and insights shared in the video provide you with an engaging and thought-provoking experience. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on our exciting upcoming videos.